Lads, here is my end of season thoughts. I'm going to put a little bit of the Stoke game in here as well because I didn't end up doing a Stoke match reaction. Mostly because I uploaded the celebration video, which hurt my arm massively. I was like that for the whole of the kind of ceremony, yeah, I popped it all together, put it in a video, and then got it straight up as soon as possible. Thank you very much if you've watched that. I do really appreciate everybody watching it. Obviously, you've got the Sheffield United official one, so I appreciate everybody who watched it. And if you haven't watched it already, I'm going to put a link to it. I'm going to put it on the end screen, so right at the end of the video, or it's my last video. So go and check that out. Drop a like on it if you haven't already. That would be very, very helpful. But yeah, so the Sheffield United Stoke City match at the Britannia was a little bit of an anticlimax in a way. We started off really, really poorly. Like, really poorly. They just hammered us. They really did. We had an odd attack here or there. We had a lot of the ball in the first sort of like 10 minutes. But after that, they kind of just kept coming at us. They scored one goal where Jack O'Connell, I don't know what he was doing. Apparently he was offside. You didn't really get to see that on Quest or Sky Sports or anything. But O'Connell and Egan were both, and Stevens were running after that linesman because it was a crossfield ball kind of like headed towards Vokes. Jack O'Connell won the header. All he had to do was put it kind of out. We kind of headed it back into play. I should have just nodded it back on, but yeah, it was a bit weird. Headed it back into play. It just dropped perfectly for Vokes. Don't get me wrong, he had so much to do with it after that, but he took it down on his chest and absolutely wellied it into the corner. Hendo had no chance whatsoever. So great finish, don't get me wrong, but Jack O'Connell should have put that out. But I can't be too critical of one of the best defenders in the league. Been absolutely colossal this season, so we'll leave that there. After the goal, we kind of came into it a little bit more, but again, not to our normal standards. Billy Sharp had an effort cleared off the line. Let's make it more honest, and we'll say a blatant cheating handball on the line by Shawcross. From where I was, I thought that Butland had pushed it onto the post. He didn't do anything of the sort. Shawcross, it went straight past him. Shawcross kind of went back onto the line and then like kind of handballed it onto the post. And it stayed out, and he stayed on the pitch, ended up scoring their second goal. But we're not bitter. We don't really care. We wouldn't have won the league anyway. So a draw, a win, a loss wouldn't have changed anything. However, I am so glad we didn't lose, because I was saying this all day long. If we lose this game and don't play very well, it's kind of going to be an anticlimax, and the season's going to end on a low, which it's had so many highs towards the end of the season. Obviously, we won promotion, and it just would have been horrible to finish on a loss. However, in the second half, we came at them like bulls in china shops, shall we say. Everyone was doing their usual bit. I think Wilder's... a lot of people will say, oh, Wilder, master stroke with the substitutions. But if that wouldn't have gone the right way, everyone would have moaned. Now, even if it would have gone the wrong way, I could see what he was doing. As soon as he made the decisions, I could see what he was doing. Because Duffy wasn't getting hold of the ball too much. And the thing was, we needed to attack with pace, and we don't really have that pace. And maybe Noah was carrying an injury, that's what they were saying. And Lundstrom, I like Lundstrom. He does a good job. He always has done. I just think he's not great under pressure. Like when he had to come in for Coots, nobody could have done that. Maybe Ollie Norwood, but no one could have done that job at that time. Cootsy was so instrumental into how we played. So no one would have done a good job at that time, and I think a lot of pressure was put on Lundstrom at the time, and a few bad passes here and there and everyone's on his back, and a new player with everyone on your back, everyone expecting so much, was pretty difficult for him last season. But I can see why he's playing Lundstram instead of Coots, because Coots does still look, when he's come on, he's looked a little bit slow, a little bit sluggish. I know that's pretty much the same word, but just a bit kind of not up to the pace. And that's how he was when we signed him originally, Coots. So I'm glad he brought Lundstram on, gave him a go, gave him a game. He'll definitely be with us next season, I think, Lundstram, because I think he's got a lot more to add. If we just got rid of him now, I'd be a bit gutted, because I think he's still got more and more to give. You never know; he might be brilliant next season. You just don't know. So yeah, he brought Lundstram on to kind of add that defensive quality, probably a bit more mobility, because Norwood doesn't get around the pitch as much as you'd like sometimes. But that's probably the only downside to Norwood. But yeah, I thought Lundstram played really well when he came on. We also brought Dowell on, and I thought that was the perfect game for Dowell, when we're absorbing their pressure and then breaking, because Duffy's not amazing at kind of breaking at speed. He used to be when he was younger, but he's lost a lot of pace. And Dowell kind of gave us those legs, shall we say, and then obviously scored the goal to make it 1-1. Great finish into the bottom corner, and the thing was, I was right behind it and you could see it all the way, and you could see it were going in straight away. Same with the Stevens one, really. So then second half, we after the goal, we carried on. It looked like we were going to score. It looked like it was coming, and then they scored, probably against the run of play from a corner. Ball came into the box, and no one dealt with it. It looked like it was Basham's fault, but I don't know. I don't know what happened, really. He just came to the back post. Shawcross was all on his own and just tapped it in. Pretty easy finish. So, yeah, that was their second goal, 2-1. We reacted really well. We came back, did the same things again, and then Billy Sharp got the ball on the edge. I thought he was going to have a shot a few times, ran across the box, and then laid it across to Stevens. And do you know what? As soon as he got that ball, I'm like, shoot, this is going in, because he's just on form. Every time it's a shot, he goes it back at net. He's gained his confidence massively, Stevens, not just in shooting. His crossing's got better. His confidence to do things on the ball. His confidence to think, if someone's got the ball, I'm going to win it off him. And that's what Stevens has kind of improved on. Just his confidence, really. I think he's always had it in him. Just his confidence has been upped massively in the last, kind of couple of months. So, yeah, and Stevens put the ball in the back of the net, and it finished 2-2. It felt like a winner would have come. If we'd have had probably another 5 or 10 minutes, I think we would have scored a winner. Or they'd have scored a winner. It was end-to-end stuff. So that's kind of the Stoke match for you. I'll push on, because I realise that I've been speaking for 8.5 minutes now, and I've not said anything about kind of like my end-of-season thoughts. My end-of-season thoughts are, what an epic season we have had. It's probably been my most fun watching Sheffield United ever. They've been brilliant all season. Couple of minor hiccups being the Aston Villa 3-3 draw, where we were 3-0 up. But like I've said in these videos before, I think that was the turning point for us. And I think if we didn't concede those 3 goals, then it wouldn't have given the kick up the arse to be like, right, okay, yes, we're not going to let that happen again. We're going to go on, and they've just been brilliant since then. So Villa, that was a big one to take. We had a bit of a slump mid-season when we played Rotherham. I can't remember who else. We played Forest away and were quite poor. But all in all, the season's been excellent after a very worrying start, a very worrying kind of 3 games, I think it was, before the QPR game. So yeah, excellent. Everyone's been excellent. The only person that I would say that hasn't done his bit would have to be Marvin Johnson. when he's come on, he's been really poor. I'm surprised Wilder didn't send him back after that Bristol City game. Really bad. But the thing was, he's an attacker, he's not a defender. And when you're playing a left winger at left wing back / left back, you're always going to struggle defensively. So other than Marvin Johnson, they've all been excellent, I think, this season. The defence have been colossal. Dean Henderson's been brilliant when called upon. I've got to say that we need to keep him. We do need to keep him. Also, Ollie Norwood has given us that extra push. His assists just is comfortable on the ball like Coots was, but he added that kind of those assists where Coots didn't quite add that. He's kind of got everything that Coots had and has, but like the coolness on the ball, the technique, the passes. Like, I think his passing range is better than Coots's as well. And obviously his corners, his free kicks, everything. He's made so many goals this season, Ollie. And even his tackling, he gets back, he gets stuck in. Obviously, he's got quite a few bookings this season, so he obviously gets stuck in. Fleck has had probably an up and down season, I would say. Not as good as the season before, I don't think. But he's still... Fleck, like I've said before in these videos, Fleck's bad games are better than a lot of people's good games. So I would say Fleck's bad games are average, not bad. So that's what I can say about Fleck. I think Duffy's had, again, an up and down season. I think for the most part, he's had a brilliant season. Creates space, obviously creates goals. Yeah, just opens the game up. Brings kind of players into the game that wouldn't normally get hold of the ball if it wasn't for Duffy. So like a Duffy or the Duffy role needs kind of, someone needs to be there and be as good as Duffy to kind of bring those overlapping centre-backs in, because he holds the ball up, plays nice little 1-2s, doesn't let the ball go easily. He doesn't try and do something fancy and lose it. Well, not very often anyway. So yeah, Duffy's been brilliant this season. Billy Sharp has been, everyone thought it was over for him, and he's been excellent. Who'd have thought after Leon Clark's season last season we'd be loaning him out? And that's all because of Billy Sharp and David McGoldrick. David McGoldrick's been excellent as well. Especially the last kind of 2 months of the season, he's been brilliant. And then everyone's chipped in. Hogan's chipped in towards the end of the season, obviously coming on loan. Medine's done his bit. I don't think he's been great, but he's done his bit. All the defenders have, like Crane has been brilliant when he's been needed. Stearman's been great when he's been needed. They've all been great. They've all been brilliant. And do you know the only player that I'm not going to mention, which is very harsh because he would always be there if we needed him, and that's Simon Moore. And it's really sad because I really like Simon Moore, and I think he'll be there next season unless he wants to play football, unless he wants to move to play football. I think he'll be there as the second string goalkeeper again. So yeah, they've all been brilliant. Chris Wilder has just excelled himself again, hasn't he? Like, these players, I'm not saying anything bad about them, but they are playing way above their capabilities, and it's down to Chris Wilder. You've got to say it is down to Chris Wilder. What a brilliant manager he is, and if we lost him, we would be screwed. So yeah, that's it. That's where I'm going to leave it. I'm going to bring loads of Sheffield United videos out, even though the season's ended. I've got lots of different ideas on a new football series as well. Not just going to be Sheffield United, but the first episode will probably be Sheffield United. So yeah, we've got lots more to come. So thank you very much for watching. If you are new around here, please make sure you subscribe. Please make sure you like the video if you enjoyed it. Sorry it's in my car and I'm absolutely sweating my head off because I'm in the car and it's really hot in here. It's not particularly warm outside, but it's boiling in here. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to leave you. So thank you very much for watching. Like I say, new stuff coming up. So make sure you're there, make sure you're here, make sure you're supporting, because we're nearly on 8,000 subscribers. Fingers crossed, let's get there very soon. Thank you very much, Blades, and we'll see you soon.